Good morning. I am Ruth Van Lillian, the minister here at the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Tuscaloosa. We welcome you into our covenantal community, founded on love and a common devotion to our free faith. We recognize all the earth as sacred ground, and we welcome each other into this virtual space. We especially welcome those visiting with us today. We're so glad that you found us. We invite you to connect with us in our community through the comments below or visit our website or Facebook page.
Good morning. I'm Lynn Snow, the lay service leader for today. Please click the link in our video description below for our order of service and other useful information. Our church website and Facebook page have information about our new online offerings. Also, members and friends are encouraged to read all Newsnet emails to stay updated on congregational matters. The prelude prepares us for the service.
Good morning, we are Tuscaloosa, and we are lighting this morning chalice.
We light the chalice at the beginning of worship to set apart the space for worship, and we invite you at home to light a candle, light a chalice, burn some incense, spray some air freshener, whatever you need to do to set apart this time at home for worship with your community.
We light this chalice as a beacon of our faith and as a reminder of our commitment to a free and responsible search for truth and meaning. We worship together by celebrating that which is sacred to us individually and collectively.
Our opening words are call and response. I invite you to respond, "You are welcome among us." If you are a seeker, a questioner, a believer, or an unbeliever, you are welcome among us. No matter your national origin or ethnic background, you are welcome among us. No matter your race or the color of your skin, you are welcome among us. No matter your sexual orientation or gender identity, you are welcome among us. No matter your education or income, you are welcome among us. Whoever you are, whatever you are, wherever you are on your journey, you are welcome among us.
When we gather together in loving community, we remember that we do not travel this earth alone. We share our lives as we light candles and hold each other in meditative thought and reverence. I'll now light a candle in my home while you light a candle in yours. and we can together observe a moment of silence while you share your joys and your burdens by replying in the comments below, and we can engage together in celebration and condolence. I will now light a final candle for all burdens and celebrations shared in our virtual space that went unspoken. May the warm light of these flames bring us peace.
Let us spend a few moments of silence as we think about all the joys and concerns that have been mentioned and have gone unspoken today. Then I will close us with a few words. We are made of the dust of distant suns, and we breathe molecules of oxygen from the dawn of the earth. We are connected with everything that lives, that has lived, that will ever live. Let us find comfort and strength this day in remembering that we are never really alone. We have each other's company on the journey. And right now, remembering that is very important. Amen. Shalom. Blessed be. Our story this morning is called Once Done. One morning after breakfast, Paolo sat in his room reading a book. It was one of his favorites, an adventure, very exciting. He kept getting up and running around the room with the book in hand. Suddenly, without realizing it, he had torn a whole page out. "Mama, Mama!" He ran across the house. "Mama, I tore it. I didn't mean to. Can you fix it?" Said Mama. "Yes, I think so. Could you please get me the clear tape?" He brought Mama the special tape they used for wrapping presents. She pulled out a long strip and put it across the torn edge, and before he knew it, the page was back in the book. Paolo studied it. It was in the right place. He could still read it, but he could also tell that it had been torn. "I can see where it tore. Can't you fix it so it will be like it was before?" he asked Mama. She smiled and patted his head. "Oh, Paolo, there are many things in this world that when they are torn can be repaired, but they are never quite as good as before they were torn. Once done cannot be undone." At lunch, as Paolo ate his sandwich and drank his milk, his mother set a bowl of juicy oranges near him. He reached out to get one and knocked over his glass. Milk went everywhere, and the glass rolled off the table and crashed to pieces on the floor. "Oh, Mama, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to." "That's all right, Paolo. Stay in your chair, keep your feet up. Here's a towel. You clean up the milk on the table, and I'll pick up the glass on the floor." Paolo watched as his mother swept up the broken pieces. "Mama, can't you fix the glass?" She smiled and patted his head. "Oh, Paolo, there are many things in this world that when broken can be put back together, but some things are just too broken to be fixed. Once done cannot be undone." That night, as Paolo was brushing his teeth, he bumped the toothpaste tube onto the floor. As he jumped off his little stool, he stepped on the tube and squirted toothpaste everywhere. "Mama, Mama, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to." "That's all right, Paolo," said his mother. "Let's get it cleaned up." Before she could hand him a towel, he had scooped up as much toothpaste as he could into his hands, and he held them up to her. "Here, Mama, we won't waste it. You can put it back into the tube." She laughed and patted his head. "Oh, Paolo, There are many things in this world which can be used and reused, but some things, once spilled or squirted, cannot be saved. Once done, cannot be undone. After she got him cleaned up and into bed, she noticed him frowning. "What's wrong, Paolo?" "Mama, I made a lot of mistakes today. Do you still love me?" His mother gathered him into her arms and held him close. He could smell the sweet scent of her hair, and he burrowed his face into the crook of her neck while she whispered, "Paolo, I have loved you since the first time I held you in my arms. There are many things in this world that get torn and broken and wasted, and all humans, young and old, make mistakes every day. There is nothing you can ever do to make me stop loving you. I will love you for the rest of my life." She hugged him tightly. Once done, cannot be undone. The end. Here we go. Minds, hearts, and hands and feet and rolling wheels. Minds, hearts, and hands and feet, rolling wheels. Minds that think, hearts that love, hands that serve, and feet and wheels. Minds, hearts, and hands and feet and rolling wheels. Minds, hearts, and hands and feet and rolling wheels. Minds, hearts, and hands and feet and rolling wheels. Minds that think, hearts that love, hands that serve, and feet and wheels. Minds, hearts, and hands and feet and rolling wheels. Wonderful.
Out of gratitude for all that we have been given and all that we have now, we share our resources because we love and trust one another, and because this church enriches our lives and empowers us to make the world better. We rely upon each other, members and friends, and we appreciate the generous donations and payment of pledges to support the legacy, vision, and work of this church community. Contributions may be made via PayPal by using the link below, or by mailing your check directly to UUCT. All undesignated contributions will be split between this congregation and our designated Split the Plate organization. Please remember in the comments field in PayPal to designate this pledge as to UUCT, or in the comments field of your check. If you prefer to send a contribution directly to our Split the Plate organization, please mail that check directly to the organization. The offertory music will continue to play in this window as you open a new window to make your contribution. By the work of our hands and the generosity of our hearts, our love is made real. Thank you for these gifts.
Okay, I confess, I am sick and tired of staying home in isolation. My family is driving me crazy. There's no real privacy. They all make demands every day, all day. I have absolutely had it with this whole staying at home and wearing masks and washing hands and social distancing and everything. I've just had it. I don't know about you, but lately I've been thinking something like, I didn't sign on for this. This wasn't in the life manual. The world is handing me stuff up with which I do not want to put any longer. Frankly, well, it just all stinks. I used to like grocery shopping. I'd meander around, take my time, look at every vegetable and fruit and box and can, see what was on sale, and imagine recipes for different things. I would check new items on the end caps and go hunt for preferred brands of certain luxury items to see if they were fortuitously discounted. I'd try samples and chat with store employees. I'd walk up each aisle and think through a mental picture of fridge and counter and pantry to remember what we needed. Oh, it was a pleasant, satisfying, glorious experience. Now, ugh, I put on my mask, which makes my face sweat and my glasses fog up and then fall off. I worry about everything I touch, and instead of slight smiles to strangers I pass, I have to nod so I seem friendly and polite. I can't keep track of what I need to buy because I'm so busy worrying about which way I can walk up the aisle, and inevitably I end up going the wrong way and annoying everyone. Now I want to do the right thing and keep risk to a minimum. I don't mind the inconvenience of the mask and the one-way aisles and waiting outside until enough people leave and all the rest. Well, not really. Because this virus is a sneaky, unpredictable, deadly four-letter word of a microbe, and I don't want to catch it and die. And I don't want anyone else to either. Especially not because I got impatient and tired of isolating and hand washing and mask wearing and the rest of it. I am not a spoiled, rotten, whiny baby. Well, okay. There's a little bit of the whiny baby in me. I mean, my family and I are getting sick of each other. Did I already mention that? And the house is a wreck with everyone at home all the time, but no one wants to do any cleaning. And I love to cook, but I am sick of cooking, and I am sick of my own cooking. And I miss eating out, but I'm scared of even takeout because those darned virus microbes and... Okay, sorry, time for a mindful deep breath. Everyone with me. Breathe in, breathe out. Again, breathe in, breathe out. As a nation, we are struggling with agreement on priorities. We were told to isolate at home to protect everyone's health, which meant many lost their jobs and over 60,000 people died anyway. What good is protection from what might happen if folk can't feed their children? Now our leaders tell us it's time to get back to work and back to shop and buy to protect the economy. And the prediction for the virus spread is that it's going to get worse. What good is putting food on the table if our loved ones end up in the hospital with COVID-19? I understand that many folk feel like they're stuck between the proverbial rock and hard place. Now that we're calmer and breathing deeply and slowly, let's consider what still matters. Now I understand that a lot of what used to seem like little stuff matters a great deal. Things like housekeeping and grocery shopping have been relegated to the background of our lives because there's so much that demands our attention and seems so important. But the reason the seemingly mundane stuff is getting to us so much is because a lot of it really matters. The rituals of our lives, the meals we eat, the environment we live in, the way we spend time together as families, the routines of our work, all this has been disrupted. It has been disrupted long enough to move beyond the unexpected gift of a little downtime to a sense of ennui, of confusion over who we are and what value we have and how we fit together in our marriages and our family units, or how we live as single persons alone day after day. The rituals and routines do matter, and we have been forced to re-examine and even recreate ourselves. So a lot of the little stuff does matter, does affect our sense of well-being. When I was around 10 years old, I read a book called The Endless Step by Polish author Esther Hotzig. It was a memoir of her experience of exile by the Nazis with her Jewish family from their home in Poland to distant Siberia. It was such a compelling story about a girl my own age being yanked from her comfortable life and thrust into a completely different existence. I read it over and over many times. I was so captivated, horrified, thrilled, and uplifted in turns. She and her family did return to Poland at the end of the war, but nothing was left of their old life. And like so many other Jewish refugees, they came to the United States, where Ms. Hotzig spent the rest of her life. I remember at the beginning of her story, when summer vacation had just begun, she had got up early to enjoy her freedom and sneak down to the kitchen to make hot cocoa and get a soft roll with butter. This was her breakfast every day of her life, as long as she could remember. And an alteration in the menu would, as she wrote, have been regarded as a plot to poison her. She lay in bed, eating her roll, sipping her cocoa, reading a favorite book, and everything was wonderful and just as it should be. And then there was loud banging on the front door of the house, and everything changed in an instant. While our situations are nothing as horrifying as Esther's experience, her story reminds me of the dramatic change and the lack of power of autonomy and the very real threat of danger to ourselves and our kids that grabs my mind and heart and has kept me awake some recent nights. Something that we have lost that matters so much is our sense of safety in our own homes. Now, some of you listening to me may never have felt safe in your home. Perhaps abuse or neglect has meant home was not safe for you. I recognize that staying at home may be particularly difficult for you at this time. For most of us, home has been a place of relative safety. But recently, we have had to worry about who and what come into our home and whether they might be bringing the virus with them. Safety at home really matters. Of course, we know that our family matters. It's just that right now we wish they would matter somewhere else for a few hours each day because we are sick of the sight of them. My husband and I are sharing the TV much more than usual. He has become obsessed with YouTube videos about Tesla cars and the glories of electricity. And I have become enchanted by the tidiness and efficiency of tiny houses, which I suspect is coming out of a latent fantasy to run away from home. And we are nearly gritting our teeth over each other's viewing choices. I will certainly never drive a Tesla, just on principle. But of course, Bill matters to me. He is my husband, my knight in rusted armor, the father of our two beautiful boys. He is the caretaker of our brain-injured son, which enables me to follow my calling to work and serve as your minister. And he still offers to share his beer with me when he knows I don't like beer. And he makes me laugh out loud after 22 years of marriage. He drives me crazy, annoys me, gets on my last nerve. But he's my life companion, and he matters. Of course, my boys matter too. It's Mother's Day, and I asked for a big house cleaning project to be completed by the end of the month as my gift. Our younger son Angus offers lots of moral support, and Bill and older son Liam will have their hands full, but maybe, just maybe, they'll remember that I matter too, and they'll get that project done just to show that they remembered. I fear we have months ahead of this strange, challenging life. The scientists who specialize in infectious disease seem quite certain that as people stop following the mitigation guidelines, the virus spread will get worse. Social distancing, hand washing and sanitizing, mask wearing, and staying at home is the safest path, though I know we don't want to hear it. Think about it this way. What still matters to you? Do you matter to someone? What is worth risking your life over? Do you want to be responsible for giving this virus to someone else, especially someone you love? I understand some of us have no choice but to go out and earn a living to keep our families housed and fed. Think in terms of taking the least amount of risk in your daily lives. Every choice you make will have consequences for you and those who matter to you. Dr. Paul Greiner says everything you do has an impact. Who you are, that you are, actually matters. In an interconnected world, the only kind we have, our actions and the actions of others are inextricably linked. We are always and forever in a dance of mutual influence with those with whom we directly and indirectly participate. It is the unavoidable reality of being social creatures, only magnified by an ever increasingly complex and interwoven societal structure. We matter to each other. The members of the board and I will pay close attention to the situation and listen carefully, like good Unitarian Universalists, to the advice of doctors and scientists in regard to the decisions we make about our church community. While online church is the safer course, we will stick with that, and it may be much longer than any of us imagined. Our church must be a safe place. We must not reopen the doors until we are certain that it is safe for everyone to return. Until then, we will engage with each other using other means like this, an online service. And we will be okay. We still matter. To our families, to our community, to each other. Please take good care of yourselves in the days ahead. Make good choices. You all still matter very much to me. Amen. Shalom. Blessed be.
Soon the day will arrive when we will be together, and no longer will we live in fear. And the children will smile without wondering whether on that day the stars will appear.
our chalice, extinguishing words of us.
As we extinguish this chalice flame, let us remember that we carry the light within ourselves, which brings healing to a broken world and hope for the days ahead.
Siblings and kindred, we are each engaged in the free and responsible search for truth and meaning in this difficult time. I hope that you can find truth and meaning even in the smallest things in your daily lives, and to remember that we are in this together. Go in peace.